A hiker in shade walks a corridor of small conifers toward a hazy, sunlit wall of towering, snow-patched mountain peaks. The trail is hard-packed and damp from snow melt or rain. A sweeping sunlit meadow stretching to the foot of giant peaks with glaciers draped down their sides. Two hikers pick berries in the distance. Taking a load off and filling bottles from a footbridge at the mouth of a lake as the sun dips behind the peaks. A backpack works as a pillow for a napping hiker on a bench. White flowers bob this way and that in the meadow valley. A hiker with poles crosses a snowfield above the tree line. In shade against a steep slope beside a sunlit glacier, two hikers spread their arms to catch the wind and savor the scene. Title: Hiking 75 kilometers in the Tonquin Valley. Arriving by highway and unpacking the car. Text: Day 1, Astoria Trailhead, 19.4 kilometers, 12.1 miles. Crossing a wide wooden bridge, four backpackers look upstream to an impossibly steep mountainside. A wide trail of pebbles and rocks ascends moderately through forest, in places mossy and puddled. Approaching a bridge over shallow rapids, the full height of a mountain comes into view. An unobtrusive campground, well signed with a map of the tent sites. Around a picnic table of half-sawn logs, the hikers in sneakers and light clothing break out water and snacks. Bug spray for the neck before the pack goes back on. Down a narrower path padded with pine needles to a stream crossing on raw-hewn planks with a handrail. Two log benches demand a quick lie-down. The forest thins and the stream turns white and placid, arriving in the meadow. A short, steep scree trail up a slope of boulders. A sign warns of rock slides. A lush carpet of low scrub speckled with yellow and white blooms. The jagged rampart range of peaks in a row. The hikers halt before an even grander view. A meadow enclosed on three sides by impossibly towering peaks. The Aramide Valley. A squeeze bottle for easy filtering. Filling water bottles from a low footbridge. Looking across water along a vast, flat valley flanked steeply by the ramparts nearby, and by similar crags diminishing into the hazy distance on the other side. Text: Camp 1, Surprise Point Campground. In a small clearing in the trees. Packs come off, a tent goes up, sleeping bags and hikers go inside. Two mosquitoes turn tail as the tent door closes. An inflatable pillow completes the bed making. The sun sparkles from a notch between peaks. Morning. A hiker emerges dressed and sleepily retrieves food and cooking gear from a nearby cluster of bear-proof lockers. Atop a weathered, gray log table, water comes to a boil. Oatmeal in an instant. Text. Day 2, exploring the Aramite Valley, 28 kilometers, 17.4 miles. A single-track trail leads out of camp and back to the magnificence of the mountain-ringed meadow and the stream through it. Water rushing over the collapsed middle of a footbridge stops the hikers short and inspires them to bushwhack. But elsewhere, the flow is faster. They wet-footed across the stream anyway, and scramble up a shoulder-high bank through a thicket of roots and trees. Back on trail, the mountains resume to loom closer and larger back on the trail as it gently ascends. Suddenly, at the foot of a glacier looking up through a gap in the trees, a many-fingered tangle of trickles cascades down from it, a powdery blue-green hue where the hikers find it pooled a little farther ahead. It's not over fancy for rinsing the morning dishes or refilling water bottles, sparing a moment from the otherworldly landscape of sand, scree, snow, and crowded peaks jostling for position. A steep and narrow valley, one side green, the other gravel, topped by a glacier. Rampart peaks looming just beyond through haze. A hiker clambers between oddly overlaying giant slabs of gray-splattered rock beside rushing rapids. Arriving at the head of the valley, a half-bowl sculpted by glacier with mountains for sides, and a receded remnant of the glacier draped like a bib down the front of the peak straight ahead. A patch of green and a clutch of purple and yellow flowers wobble in the wind as a hiker passes, hood up. Milky aquamarine pools bedeck the sandy, snow-streaked sides of the bowl, nestling against ridges that range down from the top. The first to arrive spreads her arms out, then upward, fluttering fingers in the wind, and another joins her. They stand in a sloping scree field in shade, while the rest of the bowl and rim of peaks shimmers in full sunlight. Looking down on another hiker crossing snow with poles. The snowfield seems to end in mid-air above a whole vast valley in shadow, other mountains extending into infinity. High beside the glacier, facing an amphitheater of rocky peaks patched with snow. Looking down on the pastel pools and across the expanse at distant peaks. On the valley floor as the sun disappears behind the ramparts, grasses and wildflowers of a meadow flutter nearby. At a low footbridge, an arriving hiker drops his pack to take a seat alongside others basking in the sunset as a stream babbles beneath them. The sun reflects as one shimmering smear from across the lake to their feet. Sunset colors across the sky beyond the lake and over ranges into the distance, diminishing like Russian dolls. Turned opposite the sunset, the remaining rampart peaks are spotlit by the lowered sun, turned to shades of pink and tan and cast into a fine relief of folds and wrinkles. Packs on, hiking through meadow. In the distance, a mountain in the shape of a dorsal fin above a carpet of trees. Then it's dusk all around as a hiker passes. Sign for Amethyst Campground. Camp 2, Amethyst Campground. Tent pitching for two with headlamps in the dark. close quarters, a camper has her headlamp turned off for her. Text. Day 2. Hiking through Macarab Pass. 14.2 kilometers, 8.8 miles. Morning. Shoes, socks, and insoles arrayed to dry outside a tent as campers emerge. Everybody around the camp table in all their layers. Cups, bowls, sporks, spoons, snacks. A bag hand labeled coffee. In the center, a canister stove with a pot atop it that begins to steam. The tall peaks that blocked the sun last evening, now in their morning spotlight above trees and a trail out of camp. Campers on a tiny stretch of beach facing across the lake. One in a puffy jacket poses as another with her hood up struggles to get the lake, peaks, and her subject all in frame for a photo. In shorts, sandals, and t-shirts, the two wade into the sunny shallows, one with a small camp towel. Wrings the towel in the lake. Breaking down tent poles and packing up. On the single track across meadow. On boardwalk, the ramparts looming massively ahead through haze. Past a horse pen and cabins. On a footbridge of milled wood over a shallow brook. A sign with arrows and distances to campgrounds. Rounding a marshy, boulder-strewn widening of the brook, shrubs and trees surrounding. In marsh, the hikers using trekking poles skirt the flooded trail along its border of skinny logs, each no wider than a shoe. A songbird atop a scraggly pine in a meadow marsh. Fording a shallow creek, stone to stone. And again across a log as the trail steers upward through a rolling field. A sign reads, Macarab Pass, 2,210 meters. An arrow and text beneath it indicate the campground is 7 kilometers ahead. Shaggy seed heads of western pasque flowers wobble in the wind. Hands loosening laces and prying off shoes for R&R. Reclining against the pack among the meadow flowers in crisp daylight. Beyond, in a strange haze, a barren terrain patched with snow overtopped by ghostly crags. A lime green caterpillar clumsily inches over rocks and up the side of one shoe. A hiker wearing her pack faces snow and scree to the right of the trail. With her camera, a small avalanche of purple blooms behind her on the left. Her partner arrives and they walk on through patchy meadow, rolling terrain and across another rushing stream via footbridge. Text, Portal Campground. Assembling the stove. Stirring fixings into a simmering pot. Tasting from the spork. Thumbs up. A level but pebbly clearing for a tent. Arriving hikers set their packs down. Zipping in behind the fly of the assembled tent, drawing her pack behind her, a hiker parks it beneath the overhang to shield it overnight. Inside, it's bright and multicolored, early to bed. Breaking the tent down. Stuffing the pack. Lacing up. Text. Day 4, hiking to the end of the trail, 10.2 kilometers, 6.3 miles. In sun hats, shorts, and t-shirts with trekking poles, a long and gradual ascent of a very steep and mammoth valley carved by glacier. A rocky trail cutting through remnant rock slides. Where there are trees, they appear young. Wider and more distant views across the valley as the trail ascends. A trail sign for the turnoff to the Portal Trailhead parking lot, just 400 meters away. At a rushing river, an elegant-looking footbridge with a handrail signals they've arrived. One hiker steps right in to swish her hands in the bluish rapids. At the banner signboard on the other side, she lifts her arms in triumph. Another hiker passes at a trot, leaning forward as if across a finish line. The last to arrive kicks his heels. A hiker drops his pack beside the car and stretches his shoulders. Gentle fade to black.